Okay, so hi, I'm Beck Lane and this is Studio 120. And the other day I went on YouTube and several other of my social media and asked questions because I've been feeling really, really stymied the past 3 years, kind of lost and not knowing what to do, not wanting to give up making videos because I do get response from them and people tell me that they help. Uh, but I want to get better. I want to be better. I want to be more helpful in any way that I can. And I want to draw more friends into our little community. So I was asking, the other day I asked, what can I do? What can I do to help? I think that's what I asked. It was something like that. And I got some really good answers, including one that said, I watch your videos to get tips on products. Okay, well, that gives me a little bit of a direction. I've gotten other, oh my God, I'm so bad at this right now, but I've gotten different suggestions like that. And people say, I just like watching you paint, which helps to give me direction, so I'm not quite so floundering. But I'm going to continue to ask this question. What can I do to help you, to help create your, to help you find your passion again in whatever art that you're in, or as an art enthusiast, what would you like to see from me that will help you feel more connected to art and a living artist? I've had a number of people say to me that they've been all over YouTube and there's no other channel like this. No other channel. There's nobody presenting themselves like this. Just like basic human being. I'm an artist. Things go terribly wrong and they can go terribly great. And this is how how I'm dealing with it. And now let's paint. And I've been going through YouTube too, and there is nothing like that. I am very real, as people have said. And so I'm glad that I can kind of provide that, I guess, as a way to combat a lot of the, look at the shininess that's out there. And this is, I'm awesome and you will do what I say. I'm glad I provide a sense of, I'm glad I provide a tether and a sense of realness and in amongst all this shouting. Anyway, I was going somewhere. Oh boy. I'm trying to rework myself so I'm a little bit more of a leader for people and less of just an antic. This woman having antics on YouTube that are fun and funny, but I also want to be a little bit more of a leader for you. So what is it that I can do to help lead you in a better direction? I think that's my question. I think that's it. The other thing I was asking is, what would inspire you? And this is where I got a lot of answers. What would inspire you to invest in my art? And I had many conversations the past few days with people. I've got a question on my iPad that I've been holding on to, and I don't want to lose it and I don't want to forget it. So I guess we're just going to keep holding on to it so I can answer Eric's question. Anyway, my question to you is, what would inspire you to invest in my work? What would inspire you to invest in my work? And one of the many conversations I had this week with people was paint smaller. So the paintings are less expensive. That's not how my mind works. My mind says, where is it? Here. I'm sorry. Here's the reference material. My mind doesn't say this must, excuse me. I don't say to the reference material, you will be 18 by 24 so that you only cost so much. My mind, this is how my mind works, is this is the reference material. What size canvases will work appropriately with it, and we go from there. So that kind of explains the different sizes, because I want to show reverence to my reference material, not have it crammed into a certain space just because that will be the price tag. It's just, it's confining, and it makes me claustrophobic, and it doesn't bring out the best work. That said, Chasen Galleries, and where are they? Chasen Galleries here in Sarasota has a variety of landscapes, which they asked for their customers, landscapes in 24 by 24 size. And that's as small as I can get, because I physically cannot see when we get to a certain size. I can't see what I'm doing. So it's a physical impossibility. Plus, it's not very inspiring. And we have to feel my artwork. We have to feel inspired by it. We have to feel that reference material. That is above every other consideration we can take in when deciding on the canvas size. But, okay, that said, I'm going to contradict myself now. Again, Blue Egg Interiors, who's now they've just moved from Miami to Fort Lauderdale. Jay has 24 by 24 also. So those are going to be under $2,000, so 24 by 24s. For Jay, he has figure work. He has a couple of things down there, and oh God, the bags under my eyes. We're going to cover those up. He has a few pieces in the 24 by 24 inch size, as does Rafael Coelho with art front galleries up in New Jersey. But so we do have smaller sizes. We do have them in the less expensive range. But again, we have to keep in mind, I'm showing reverence to the reference material. I'm trying to project a certain amount of energy and design and stuff to my paintings. So that can't be number one, but we do. The second thing is, as far as inexpensive work goes, we have prints. We have prints available. We have payment plans through the galleries. We have prints available through Beck Lane Gators and Masks on Facebook. I've now got a ton of prints available, and pretty much if you see any image you've seen of mine that you like, we can have made into a print. So those are two considerations to make when I'm asking you what is going to inspire you to invest in me. What is keeping you from investing in me, if you can? We've also got the artwork printed on the Gators, which I am now tired of talking about, but on Gators. And we have a lot of stuff through Patreon. So there's all kinds of ways you can invest. But what is it that would make you go, yes, I have to? That's my question. So there were people that responded that said, you need to link YouTube to Facebook. It's already done. Facebook to Instagram. That's already done. Instagram to Facebook. Already done. YouTube, to Pinterest. All of that is already done. And I really appreciate the suggestions. And I don't mean to be rude or disrespectful in any way. But a lot of this stuff is already done, and it boils down to what would compel you? What I'm sincerely asking, what would compel you? This isn't just helpful for me, it's helpful for artists who watch these videos to know, that are watching these videos, and they're learning from them. Oop, I don't want to lose this comment. But they're valuable questions for anyone watching the videos, as well as for me. Blah, blah, blah. So I got a really good question yesterday on YouTube, and I'd love to answer more. If you have questions, let's just put them in the comment section. My friend Eric wrote, our friend Eric wrote, something that interests me and that I'd be curious to hear your take on is, quote unquote, discovering one's style, It can be very easy as a beginner artist to want to try out anything and everything, but what separates dabblers from professionals, in my opinion, having a signature and unmistakable look. A style that the moment you see it, you say, ah, that's Rembrandt, or that's a Bacon, or that's a Beck Lane. I'm curious to hear, number one, how you came about your own personal style, which is very distinctive and recognizable. And number two, what advice might you have for a beginner artist still trying to find their groove that they can occupy for the rest of their career? Okay, Eric, we'll do our best. How's that? I do have a very signature style because my paintings just aren't about the reference material. They're also all about painting and talking about the act of painting through the act of painting. In my paintings, you can see the brushstrokes, you can see the color layering, you can see my use of light, which I find just so interesting. Light going into flat black gesso, going into pencil and then bouncing out, going into layers and layers and layers of color and bouncing back out. It is very signature. I hear from people all over the world who say they don't even need to see a tag on things that I've posted online or anybody's posted online or reposted. They look at it and they know that's a Beck Lane. And how did I come to it? It honestly just developed on its own. And you can, on my website, becklane.com, www.becklaneartist.com, you can see the progression from, I think I started posting in 2006. I have work from 2006, which is fairly traditional. And then as it progressed through today, there was one painting that started me thinking in a whole new direction. And it's of a fish. I was living on Cape Cod and I had found a sun and salt dried fish and took it home. Disgusting, but I do that. And I took this fish home and I went from buying what I was just talking about, these little canvases, and saying, I am going to take this image of little Susie and I'm going to make it work within this canvas. It was before my head started going in another direction and saying, no. The canvas has to fit the reference material. But I went out and I got, instead of getting little 16-inch or 24-inch canvases, all of a sudden, sorry, Eric, I lost your thing. I went from these little 16, 24, 18-inch canvases to suddenly I bought my very first 36 by 60-inch canvas at the local art supply store and did kind of a big splashy-ish image of a fish. I didn't have a tremendous amount of depth. I didn't have a deep connection with any of my reference material or the subjects. I knew that I wanted to capture a moment in time, and that's why I usually work from photographs, because I love that, just kind of that moment before they move again. I love that feeling of, we're almost going to move now. That's one of the things that I try and project in my paintings. But we went from the fish to me moving to New Bedford, and this is a story I've told many times, where I thought, screw it, and I went to A.C. Moore and got a huge canvas roll, got home, unrolled it in the middle of my brand new apartment, in the middle of the living room, and just started painting. And that painting, the one when it was finished, was called Drowning Lily. And I think that was 2010, 2009. That was the first time I had just painted with feeling. referencing a few things. I had books out everywhere. I had my little doodads, my little collection of, like, I have a doll's head and a few other things, doodads that I worked from then. And, but then taking just the brush strokes would hit me and the color. And I was listening to NPR and a Stephen King novel at the same time. So I had all this information coming and going, and so I did this painting. Then from there, it led to lots of mediocre work over the next couple of years. But then when I moved to a standalone building in New Bedford, I had no windows. I had a sunlight, whatever they are, the overhead sun thingy, window thing in the ceiling. Anyway, that's the first time I bought spray paint and used it, I think. Oh no, maybe I used it before that, back in East Providence. Oh yeah, I moved to East Providence. No, New Bedford, sorry, while I skip around. I moved to New Bedford, and that was the first time I used aerosols. And from there, it was a progression of combining the aerosols, splitting up the canvases, and really delving into painting what I feel about my reference material, feeling it in the core of me and my heart. Boom, bada, boom, bada, boom, bada, boom, bada, boom. Once I started doing that, instead of painting the image as I thought it should be done, my whole world opened up. My excitement about painting opened up. My mind opened up. So you can see the progression on my website. Some of it got kind of raw and amateurish for a while, and then it bounces up, and then it goes back to raw and amateurish. You can see this wave coming and going, and till it reaches almost a consistency. And now I am very, very, very careful about not taking a canvas and relying on ideas that I held dear 9 years ago, 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. When I start to feel that you have to come up, and I know it's going to come across as amateurish and a cop-out, I take the painting, put it aside. A very good example of that is one that I have sitting somewhere around here about abuse. And I started off boldly and had direction, and then I started into cliche. So I take the cliche and I put it to the side, and that is my suggestion. When you feel yourself relying on things that you think you know and things that you believe are true, but you can feel it. You can feel it welling up. The ingenuousness, the lack of genuine, true storytelling and feeling and energy. When you feel that, take it, put it away for a while, because that's going to hold you back. Eric, that is going to hold you back. What advice might you have for beginner artists still trying to find their groove that they can occupy for the rest of the career? I think I inadvertently just addressed that. Get your version of a gigantic roll of canvas and stretch it out. Turn on your music. Turn on an audiobook. Turn off your head. And let everything you think you know go. You can learn the basics in school, but you're not going to find out who you are as a human being, as an artist. You're not going to find out your strengths and weaknesses if you stick to what you know. I think of it as a child becoming an adult, a boy becoming a man. A boy can't become a man if he's living under his mother's thumb. A boy can't become a man if he's living under his mother's thumb. And you can ask my son. I really believed that rule and acted on it. You want to keep being an idiot, honey? You're on your own, because I'm not going to save you anymore. Because that is how you're going to find out who you are. Is by driving a car into a wall because you drank too much. Well, he never did that, but I almost did. But it is equivalent, it is the equal as an artist of just taking a canvas and saying, F this, bam. I'm going to do the thing I was told not to do. Or no one told me to do, which happened in my case. Nobody told me how to paint. I actually taught myself, really. And it was experimentation, Eric. It was just taking everything I thought I had to do and not doing it anymore. Not doing it anymore. So hopefully that's helpful in my goofy ass way. And I hope that helps you to find a path. Please, if you have more questions, I will try to answer them as best I can. And if I can't answer them, I will send you to people who can, because I have terrific artist friends in my little stable. I've mentioned him before, and I was talking to someone again the other day who was having a little bit of difficulty with a face. And, oh God, ever since Bugsy died, I've had these massive bags under my eyes. So let's just keep them covered. Anyway, I was talking to somebody who was having a little bit of difficulty with a face. And the person that I go to, and I've talked about him a million times, the person I go to when I'm stuck is Leonard Maiden, M-A-I-D-E-N. Leonard Maiden, M-A-I-D-E-N. I made a video about him a couple of years ago. You can find him on Instagram and on Facebook under Leonard Maiden Studio. He is a really nice guy, a fantastic painter, very patient, very giving, very generous, very kind, just extraordinarily talented. So I have references like that. If you have any questions, I'll try and help you, okay? Or send you to somebody that can. Alrighty, that's my thingamabob today. Let me know how I can inspire you, how I can help you, what you'd like to see in these videos, and also what's going to compel you to find, what's going to compel you to invest in my work in the myriad of ways we have. In the myriad of ways. All right, that's it. I want to say something empowering now. There's a quote by Chuck Close. What is it? Something like, and I live by this, there is no muse. Professional artists show up and just do the work. Professional artists just show up and just do the work. It goes something like that. Anyway, hope that was helpful. Let's keep going, shall we? Okay? Ciao, ciao, and boink.